on from there, so that's the criminal system. Let's go to the civil system. And we've already said the civil system is broken down into parts.
Many parts, yeah.
All of them operate in much the same way, but these are independent courts with professional judges who deal with claims that have been made and defences that have been filed. So can you just explain, again, very simply, how you start a court case in Turkey?
As a defendant,
as a claimant.
As a claimant, you need to just write a petition, first of all, about what you are claiming. Yeah. And once you write the petition, you have to file lodge the court case at the correct like a court. This is one of things.
Now, of course, when you say you write the petition, particularly in the case of a foreigner who doesn't speak Turkish, it's going to be your lawyer. But in fact, even for most Turkish people, they would get their lawyer to write the petition.
It is very common to use a lawyer for any court cases in Turkey, by the way. Yes. So basically, you or your legal representative will be writing a petition to the relevant court, to the authorized court, and then you lodge the case. You will be paying some court expenses, court fees, and once the court has been filed, the judge will go through the documentation and make a preparation of the case, make an inspection, and then court will send your petition to the defendant. Yeah. I mean, the defendant will be aware of the case, will be aware of the petition that you wrote, and then they will be replying it back. So there will be a petition stage. It differs on the which judicial system that court case is falling within. But after the petition, our petition stage is completed, the judge will be commencing the trials.
So just pause there. So you, to start the case, file a petition with the court checks all the documents, sends it to the defendant, he then has some time to file a defence, a reply to the petition, and once those two documents have been received, then you proceed to the trial basis. Yeah.
Sometimes it's 2 documents, sometimes it's 4 documents, so it depends on the case type. And then the trial will be commenced. Yeah. Trials, I would say, not only one trial.
Yes.
And
so you mentioned choosing the right court. There are quite a number of different courts, aren't there?
Yes.
There are courts that deal with small cases, there are courts that deal with bigger cases, there are courts that deal with really big cases, there are courts that deal with intellectual property cases or employment law cases.
Correct.
And so you have to go to the right court, and your lawyer obviously will sort that out for you.
Correct, yeah. Because if you file an incorrect one, then your claim will not be existing. Yeah.
So let's go on to the trial phase. In the Anglo-Saxon world, then trial has a slightly different meaning from the way in which it's used here in Turkey. In the Anglo-Saxon world, a trial is a hearing at which all of the issues are sorted out, whereas here, I guess what you call the trial stage, we would call a process stage. Mm-hmm. So the judge will hold a series of meetings with the parties.
Correct.
And he will deal with bits of the case at each of those meetings. There isn't one sort of, like a cup final day when everything happens and it's all glorious. Mm-hmm. It's all a bit here, a bit here, a bit here.
Yeah.
And several months can go by.
Correct.
Between these various stages.
Yeah, we would expect like a 2 to up to 5 months between 2 hearings. Yes. I mean, how it works in here, at the preparation stage, the judge is, when they review the case, they are writing petitions to the authorities or third parties, gathering some information. And also we have the evidence of witness. So the witness has to be before the court to give the statement. Getting the replies back from the authorities in time basis, they may differ. So in one reply you can have it like in the first trial stage, the second reply could be coming at the third trial stage, and also we have the expertise stage, which normally people are depending as an evidence. So this is also like this needs to hold another trial.
But in the whole of this process, the judge is sitting there in the middle, basically directing the way in which the case is going to go.
Of course.
It isn't like in some parts of the Anglo-Saxon world where the judge is like a referee. He listens to the arguments and makes a decision. He's very much part of the process of trying to get to the truth.
In the civil system, I would say the judges are like just looking to the claims. You know, they cannot even you claim something A, they cannot be researching something B. You know, so they are really like bound up with the parties like claims. It is more about the criminal courts or administrative courts. Even you claim something else, they should be looking from a different perspective and they can do their own search. But for the civil code, I would say judges are looking to the parties like claims and defense, and then they are making a decision.
Yes, and decision will be made in writing.
They usually tell the decision
in
at the
advance,
trial.
then follow it up.
Yeah, follow it up with a reason, with the reasons. Yeah.
And then you have a number of days in which to lodge an appeal.
Correct.
And the number of days depends on the type of case.
Depends on the case, yeah.
But normally quite quick, 7 days, 15 days?
I would say the 15 days,
yes.
most likely, but we have 8 and 7
yes.
as well, yeah.
Now this is a really important point, I think, because in Turkey, a very large percentage of cases are appealed, aren't they?
Yeah.
And what of all the cases you deal with, how many do you think you get you appeal?
Almost all.
Almost all of them.
Yeah, because people are thinking that appeal is one of the legal rights.
Yes.
So they appeal one way or another. Whoever is losing the case, they
yes.
appeal.
And of course, if you appeal, then the whole case is frozen until the appeal is dealt with. You don't have to make the payment you were ordered to make.
Actually, it sometimes depends. I mean, in some cases, even you appeal, the process still moving forward. I mean, if you need to make a payment, the appeal doesn't stop it. Because if you want to stop that, then you have to put a security. But in some cases, like criminal cases, for example, if it's appealed, you cannot be sentenced until the decision is absolute.
So the judge might sentence you to 5 years in jail, but if you appeal, you don't go to jail until the appeal is done.
Yeah, unless the judge thinks that it is dangerous to leave here, so they can make a decision of that.
So people coming to deal with Turkey, and it isn't just Turkey, there's lots of other countries that are the same, they just have to understand that it takes you maybe 2 years to get to court, but then almost certainly the person is going to appeal, and it's going to be another, say, year after that before the case is finally dealt with.
In our system now, this year, which is just like a come into effect, is previously we only had Supreme Court as an appeal degree, but now we have istinaf in Turkish, which is yet again an appeal for like a small claims, and in between the Supreme Court and the first instance court. So this is because to make the things much like a faster, we put this now medium appeal system.
So for a lot of cases will not now go straight to the Supreme Court, they'll go to the intermediate appeal court.
Exactly, intermediate appeal is, I think it's going to be more faster because the intention of the government to finish all the appeal in 2 months.
Okay, 2 months, that's a very ambitious objective.
Yeah, we haven't approached yet, but that's the aim.
Okay, so that's the civil and the criminal parts of the system explained. Not going to talk about the administrative part because that's not really going to affect most people.